Um, so I decided to do a response to Jared. I just subscribed to him just recently, but maybe yesterday. To Jericho Movies video about it's kind of about Mariology, and he doesn't say that, but it's about he's addressing people who are trying to combat the Kalam cosmological argument by saying that nothing ever begins to exist, and and because one of the premises of the Kalam cosmological argument is that everything begins to exist, or I don't know the exact phrasing of the premise, but he gives the example to he says that we cannot. It might be that epistemologically we separate the world into distinct objects, but in order to know whether that is a distinction that holds true ontologically, we have to figure out if it does somehow. And he gives the example of a pencil and the Empire State Building, and he says that how can we know they're distinct objects? And at first it seems very obvious that they are, but he says if you shake the pencil, it might disturb air molecules that go back to the Empire State Building and affect it in some very infinitesimal way. So anyway, but then he gives the example, well, what if you put a pencil in a vacuum and shook it? There would be no continuity of molecules or atoms from the pencil to the Empire State Building. But one thing I wonder how you would shake it. I'm trying to think of some way you could shake a pencil without having it in contact with some bit of matter. You'd have to pull it with a string, or maybe you'd shoot some energy into the room, but I don't know how you could keep that pencil floating. I know it's a thought experiment, and I hate when people take thought experiments too literally, but it is sort of difficult to imagine a situation where it's not in contact with any molecules. And I don't know, I guess he's assuming that the criteria for being a distinct object is to be not touching anything which might through the chain of causation touch the other thing. I didn't say that well, but I was thinking, well, if you're shaking the pencil, it does affect the world in a bunch of ways, and there are all kinds of quantum effects that I don't know much about, but I do know they exist, and they are detectable to some degree, and so it's not. I don't think that the vacuum example is as simple as simple or as clear a case of having a distinct object. Having that pencil in a vacuum I'm not sure if it's a very obvious example of having a distinct object. Now, I know that the main point of his video is to oppose those mereological nihilists, and I think I am, or mostly he's trying to argue against a certain way of attacking the Kalam cosmological argument. I'm just I think I consider myself a mereological nihilist, and so I'm just trying to defend that notion a little bit here, and I keep having these I realize I'm having these videos where I pick out a certain little minor point, not minor necessarily, but some point that's not about the main thrust of the video and criticize it, but I did that with the prostitution thing because I do believe that prostitution should be legalized, but I did want to make this relatively irrelevant point about how consent is not always a binary thing. But I won't clutter up this video with more of my last video. But so I'll try to make videos that are more specifically addressing what they're trying to say, but I think this one addresses his video more so than my last one addressed the "Oh my God, it's Chris's" video. So anyway, so that's my point, basically, that the pencil is not necessarily still distinct, even though it's in a vacuum, because, I mean, even if you just set a pencil in a vacuum, it's going to be set onto something, and it'll be interacting with molecules in all kinds of ways, and also quantum effects, and I've already mentioned all this, so I'll stop. But, thank you for watching. I'll try to get that global warming video done. It's just a lot easier to just hold my camera up rather than go through all the editing and image manipulation and research and all of that. So if anyone is awaiting that video, I'm sorry, but I doubt there are many. So thank you for watching.